crafty friends, this is the Paper Chef here. Welcome to part 3 of the Butterfly Brilliance Bootcamp. In this video, the techniques we're going to be covering are using these blender pens. Actually, they're both the same. We're just using different colors. We're going to be blending, using the ink to color our butterflies, using the blender pens. Okay, we'll also add some Wink Castella. This one comes from the Designer Series paper in your Bootcamp Kit. Okay, we're going to be making this little banner for the card, putting together this card. You have all the pieces that you need for this card in your kit. And then a special treat is this 3D treat holder. Okay, hey, a special treat that has a ring to it. I'm going to show you how to make this 3D treat pouch using the Butterfly Bijou Designer Series paper. We'll use this piece here to make that treat holder because it has small butterflies on it and it'll make a good treat holder. So shout out to my friend Sandra. I told you in the beginning of the series that I was very inspired by this treat pouch she gave me. I'll tell you a little more about it later, why she made it. And I figured out how to do it with her help. And not just her help, with some videos, or one video, well, actually a video, a website. It was all in Chinese, but my friend is Chinese and she helped me figure that out. So I'm going to show you. All right, so without further ado, let's talk about this card. This card here is a Memories and More card. So what does that mean? It's not your typical A2 card like we made in part 1. So if you missed part 1 of this series, we made these cards. It took us part 1, we did the backgrounds. We embossed backgrounds. That's what I showed you how to do. So I don't repeat the same techniques because this is boot camp where you learn new techniques in every single video. So in the first video, I showed you how to stamp and emboss a background. So at this point, I hope that you will then know how to do, and I'll probably do it again later in different ways, but I use the Stamparatus, I use cherry cobbler ink, we stamped the background, then we embossed the background. That was in part 1. I talked about the Stamparatus, I talked about mounting the stamp. Okay, and then in part 2, we created the entire card project. I talked about layering the card. If you have the Butterfly Brilliance Kit, if you're in the US. You can be watching this from anywhere in the world. But if you're in the US and you got the Butterfly Brilliance Kit, then you would have had these little vellum doilies, and I showed you how to put together this whole card. And that's what we did in part 2. So now I'm not going to repeat myself and have you stamp again this part because I know you know how to do that. But let me just show you the stamps that we'll be using. Inspired Thoughts. And I want to open up, this one belongs to somebody that I'm mailing this to. In fact, Polly, this is yours. It just came. So if you order the deluxe, I have 2 kinds of kits. Let me show you that while I'm opening up hers. Okay, so this is Butterfly Brilliance Summer Techniques course. I'm doing a whole video series. So if you order the deluxe, then I have to order this for you. This is the Brilliant Wings dies. Okay, so I'm going to take this out. She won't mind. I'm not actually going to use it. I'm just taking it out of the case because I need to show you something. We're going to just... This is the deluxe, comes with the dies and the stamp set. But the regular kit, Stampin' Up! Really uses good adhesive when they put these on in their package. That's why after I take the dies out of the package, I go ahead and I put them on magnetic sheets that I get from Artbin, Artbin. All right, so this stamp, which is on my Stamparatus, here we go. Okay, after you stamp it, so I want you to go ahead and stamp it in Memento black ink. Go ahead and do that. You can even do it while I'm talking, or you can follow along later. You're going to take Memento black ink, you're going to stamp it, and you're going to cut out a bunch of butterflies. Mine have dried. You can just dry them for 5 minutes or so and start using the blender pens, which is what I'm showing you. So you see how that fits on there? Okay, good. Now, this is the other thing I want to show you. These are the contents of the kit. So you have all these different pieces that come in your kit. And you can just order the kit, which is in the US, $49, including shipping. After you order it, then you can just pay with PayPal. It's super easy checkout. But then later I'm going to ask you for your address, and I have to follow up with you because I want the checkout to be easy and you don't have to fill in a lot of forms. So you get all these contents of your kit. And then so there's the supplies for the Butterfly Brilliance Bootcamp. And then for $99, you're also going to get the Brilliant Wings dies, which are it's a double set of dies. It has 2 pages. See, you're getting this, and you're going to get the dies and the stamp set. But if you just want to, if you already have the kit contents, follow along from wherever you're at in the world. I also have a suggested list of products that you can, if you click on the link in the description of this video, you'll get this list and you can follow along with these colors I'm using. See, so today we're using Pale Papaya, Pool Party, Flirty Flamingo, Granny Apple Green. Actually, let me see. These ones. Here we go. Granny Apple, we're going to use these 4 colors. Okay? Or we might not use them all, but these are the 4 colors I suggest for the course. And because they go with the Pattern Party Designer Series paper. So anyway, I don't want you to have to read all this right now. I don't want to spend any more time on that. I just want to do one more thing before I put this die away so I don't mess up with her die. So if you order the deluxe kit, it takes a little longer to get because I have to order these pieces and then you send your kit. But either way, it doesn't take long. See? You're going to get 6 pieces of this retired butterfly bijou paper, and this die will also cut these pieces. So I just wanted to show you that because this is on the card we're using today. So you have a piece of this, and I told you in part 1 to cut it, and now you should have one of these butterflies. So take out that butterfly for this card project that you cut out of here. Take out a piece of this for our treat holder. And I made the treat holder out of this piece. So you could take out this little piece that I used, or take out this piece here. All right, now putting this back. And Polly, I will mail you today or tomorrow. Most likely tomorrow because I'll probably be here until the post office closes. See, I already lost it. Here we go. Putting it back together. Now I have plates for my not new machine, but my other machine now. But I just didn't bring that die with me, that particular die, so I had to use a customer's because I'm traveling. All right, but I have these other dies. I did bring this little die with me. Where is it? This little one. So you need, like I said, you need this one. So we can use the mini for that. All right. Whoo, long introduction, but I had to explain because I have a VIP group and somebody was just like, what's boot camp? And I'm like, how do my VIPs not know what boot camp is? I've been talking about it for like a month now, but I guess it's, still don't understand. So blender pens. Let's talk about blender pens and this card. So blender pens is a way to turn, so if you don't have our set of markers, like a set of markers with all our colors on it, a blender pen is an easy way to turn any stamping pad into a marker because this is a marker. A blender pen is really just a marker, and it has a special solution in it for blending. Okay, so even though it gets stained, see it's a little stained, it doesn't matter. You'll see because I'm going to use Whisper White right now. Whisper White cardstock. Let's do this. You're going to need, this card, by the way, is the Memories and More Cards and Envelopes. I'll say hi to everybody that came in just a moment. I have to get my act together. I had it all together. I had all this cardstock cut into little pieces already so that I could blend with you before I started blending onto the butterflies. And now all I see is like the very vanilla. Okay, well I can use this as an example because these are for our sentiments. So I'm going to put down, say, this little rubber mat here to show you something. So what I want to show you is even though it's stained, oh, and that might be very vanilla. Yeah, this is white. See, even though the blender pen is stained, it doesn't come out with any color on it. So don't worry that it gets stained is my point. So let's just, and they come in a pack of 3, but hint, hint, if you got my kit, maybe some of you got this as a surprise in your kit, right? So you should be able to follow along. So we're going to let's take Granny Apple Green, for example, and I'm going to open up the ink pad, and you can turn any ink pad into a marker, okay? And not only that, blender pens allow you to, so unlike ink where you're just going to stamp something, blender pens allow you to, and I'm going to go ahead and use the pink side just to prove that nothing is on there, right? And just to show you how it works. See that? So blender pens allow you to concentrate the ink and then fade it out. So if you want to start coloring your butterfly and you don't want it to be so dark right away, then you're going to color onto a little piece of Whisper White first. Okay, so that's how blender pens work. They're magical. And then to clean them off, you just rub them on here. So we'll clean it off. So let's kind of just replicate the card. Oh, look, I just dropped it right into the ink. So much for replicating my card. Okay, we don't have to have the same size butterfly. We can use a different size butterfly. because, you know, the point is to learn how to use the blender pen. So we'll just make bigger butterflies, that's all. We'll just blend longer. So, and by the way, these butterflies are modeled after real life butterflies. So that's what happens when you dump it into the ink. So we're going to take our blender pen and we're going to dip in there. And I kind of just start at the middle because I want the middle to be darker. And I'm going to kind of color in the middle of the body there. See how it's just like a regular marker? I'm just coloring in with a marker. And then I'm just going to do this little, I'm just going to do that. See that? I just want it to be darker coming out from the center. But then that part I want to be lighter. So I'm just going to go ahead and do all the centers first. And we can even use another color later. We'll probably use some maybe with that one we'll use some Pool Party with it. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just getting the concentrating the ink. That is like a must-have. I think blender pens are a must-have. Because like I said, everything can be a marker. You're turning anything into a marker. And then you can really be precise with your ink. Now, without a blender pen, you may have recalled way back when, probably a few months ago, I talked about creating a mask with the Scan and Cut. And so we created a mask. And so that's another way to color you can make a plastic mask and just sort of sponge color your butterflies too. Okay, so look what happened. I got all the granny apple green off. Now watch this. This is so cool. See that, how you clean it off? I'm just going to do that until it's clean. It's just so cool. You're like, well, how is it stained and coming clean? The first time, my upline showed me this at one of her stamp camps. And I was like, well, how is it coming clean? She goes, I don't know. It's like magic. See, there, I'll turn it to the other side. See, it just, until you get it all off. I don't need to get it quite all off, but yeah, there, it's pretty clean now. I'm going to go ahead and close the granny apple green. And we'll use some Pool Party now. Because I know they go well together, because the Pool Party is in that same stack of ink that not ink, the same stack of Pattern Party, Designer Series paper. So now I'm just going to, blend these together. So because of this little magical solution that is sort of wet, it just sort of blends. And because these are dye-based inks and not alcohol inks, you can actually pull the colors from them. But you got to be careful not to pull, because these are kind of like, it's sort of a wet brush. You want to let your Memento ink dry a little bit before you start blending, because I've had the black ink sort of run on me. Okay, I'm liking this. I'm going to do another layer of it. So these differ in that you are actually just using these on your regular inks. You're using these on your ink, your dye-based inks. You're not using these with your alcohol markers or anything. Stampin' blends will do this kind of effect too. But if you don't have Stampin' blends, okay, they're alcohol markers. They are something we sell in sets of 2, and they are $9, I think, for a set of 2, and they come with like light and dark of each color. But say you're starting out and you don't have all that. You don't have every kind of color of alcohol marker. You have just a few colors of ink, or you're just doing this Bootcamp series, which is a beginner to advanced series type thing. So maybe you only have the ink I suggested, and maybe you only have a couple Stampin' spots. Maybe that's all you have, and you have a Paper Pumpkin subscription, and all you have is a few Stampin' spots. Take out your little Stampin' spots and get a blender pen, which again, hint, hint, it should be a surprise for you. I don't want to ruin your surprise, but in case you guys haven't unwrapped your kits yet, you got to go get your blender pen out. But I'm not saying I get the same. Not everybody gets the same surprises in each kit, because things that I tried to surprise you with in the kits, I'm going to put a little bit of Pool Party up on the head of this butterfly. Things I tried to surprise you with in the kits, they ended up being on back order. So I couldn't surprise everybody with the same things. I'm liking how he turned out. I don't know. It's Granny Apple Green and Pool Party. Kind of a cool thing. Oh, and then you would clean it off by getting rid of, see? There's a little bit of blue on that one, so I have to kind of rub it. Rub it until it's clean, because next time you use it, there won't be any ink on this pen. And even though it's stained, like I said, I've used it with, 10, 20 different colors already, these pens. I carry around the same ones. The one that says Smith, I've actually had for years, and it hasn't dried out on me. I bring it to like my workshops. I bring it on trips. I just don't want anybody to take it, so I put my name on it. And it has not dried out on me. So Now, while I'm doing that, I'm putting a Wink of Stella on here. I can go ahead and say hi. So I just put Wink of Stella on everything pretty much. So it's this little glitter effect. So Wink of Stella is a good little pen to have. So Teresa's here. Hello, Teresa. Teresa V and Penny. Now that you've told me your actual username, I know it's really Penny, who's on my team. Okay, we have, but she also got the kit, so that's kind of cool. Okay, so, and Darlene is here, and Melody, Barbara P, catching you live. Okay, so yeah, you can, yeah, so you've ordered the supplies. Okay, cool. So now you're saying she's ordered, so Barbara's saying she ordered the supplies. And so now she's waiting for her supplies to come. But you can do this with any, so the techniques I'm teaching you, by the way, even if you don't have Butterfly Brilliance, which is in our annual catalog, right? So you don't need, I'm teaching you skills that you can use with absolutely anything. Any stamp set you have, or like any paper you have, right? Because you're learning the techniques. And those skills can apply to anything. And by the way, you let that dry, and I'm going to just go ahead and do one. I'll do one for this guy too. I'm going to put one on here. So I like to, and I do the same with the Scan and Cut. I like to teach things that are applicable to whatever supplies you have, because, you know, say they ran out of Butterfly Brilliance, I would keep on teaching the rest of the boot camp, even if Stampin' Up ran out of the stamp set and I could no longer send it to anybody. Because I would, well, they're not going to run out of the stamp set. Don't panic, anybody, because I think we manufacture stamp sets in the U.S. now, but don't quote me on that. So I'm putting some Wink of Stella on this butterfly too. We're going to color one more in 2 different colors. We're going to use Flirty Flamingo and Pale Papaya for the second one with the blender pen. But let me just go back and say hello to Karen and Carol and Kathy and Joyce from Virginia, and Karen's from Montana. And you put the name on, Kathy B says she puts the name on her pens too. So nobody takes them. Okay, let's color one in. Let's use a little different style. See how I did that here? I used like let's use, see how there's all these different butterflies in the kit. So let's use, you know, a different, for this card, we're going to use a different style of butterfly. We don't want to use 2 of the same one, because we have one that's made with designer series paper. But if you don't have the designer series paper, that's okay. And then we have, you know, one that's from the paper, and then we'll have 2 that we colored. So now we're going to take out the Pale Papaya and Flirty Flamingo. We'll do Flirty Flamingo first. And we might have to, I think we might have to put the card together in another video, only because of all the steps to put, not the steps to putting the card together, but I think I'll just do a part 4 and follow up with both these projects in part 4. So that way, when I do like part 1 and 2, so it took me 2 parts to do these cards, right? And then I think it's going to take me 2 parts to do this card and the treat holder. And that way I really make sure that you have time to go get your pieces that you need. You know, I can show you this thing twice that way, because this took me a lot of tries to really solidify it. You can have all your pieces that way. So that's what I'm thinking, you know. I was originally going to do it all at once, but I'm like, you know what? The treat holder could be its own video in itself, but I had already told you I was doing this card. But then I got so excited and said, I have to show this treat holder. Anyway, you get the idea. I am one of those people that has a plan, but I change my plans often. All right, so here we're going to dip into the Flirty Flamingo. And I'm sorry, is it called Flirty? Yes, it is called Flirty. No, I keep calling it, the reason I sometimes call it Friendly Flamingo is because we have a stamp set called Friendly Flamingo. And so sometimes I call it. So again, I'm just using the darker color, coloring the little body in first. And then we're just going to kind of work out from there. See how I'm just doing it like dip, and I'm just doing dip and draw. And unlike alcohol markers, so like with alcohol markers, you have to like worry about trying to mix them right away while they're wet and all this business. You know, you can't really let them dry before you blend the next color, because the whole reason that they blend is because you're doing it while they're wet. But unlike that, these I can just do all the Flirty Flamingo. I can do a bunch of I could do a bunch of butterflies, sit on the sofa, watch TV, color a bunch of them, and then I can go back and do the second color. So it's all good. Because the pen itself is what's doing the blending. it's not like the inks blending together. It's this special, whatever this stuff is, kind of magically making them look like we've blended the colors together by making them light and dark. Okay, so that's all I'm doing. And you can go around the sides if you want with the darker color. Yeah, I might do a little thing like that. So what I'm doing is Flirty Flamingo and Pale Papaya. And then I'll put the Pale Papaya in the middle. Again, get that off. You want to get the color off only because when you get the color off, right, and then you put this color, you can, like, you don't want to get the darker color mixed onto the stamping pad of the lighter color. So that we're done with that color. Now we're going to take the Pale Papaya, open that up, put it right there. Let's dip, dip, dip. See, I didn't want to dip and then get this big blob of like Flirty Flamingo right in the middle of my Pale Papaya. So that's why I did that. So I talk about what I do sometimes, just kind of, sometimes I think about what I do and sometimes I do things without thinking and I have to sometimes explain because then I get asked questions like, why'd you do that? And I'm like, oh, I guess I should explain what I'm doing. So you always want to start with your darker colors. Bottom line, if you're blending, it doesn't matter if you're blending with alcohol markers or I don't know, blending brushes or blender pens, sponge daubers. You want to always start with your darker color so you don't contaminate your lighter color. Okay, very cool. So that's good. So I'm happy with it. So we're going to do that little gizmo. We're going to get that off of there. Okay, and so now our blender pens are clean, and now you know how to use blender pens. Now you don't just use them for what I'm showing you to color in items. You can use them for backgrounds. You can blend backgrounds. You can like draw. See how I just drew all over there? Think about that. That can be snow and ice and lines on your paper, right? So you can think about blender pens as a way to do sort of watercolor washes in the backgrounds of your cards and things like that. So I'm just using my Wink Castella. All right, now I'm gonna do the fold next, but because of time. But let me show you so you can get ready for part 4. Okay, so part 4 is going to be we'll do assembling card, and we will do treat holder again. You know, we'll say slow motion treat holder, or maybe we'll do another treat holder as well. All right, so for this card you need to take so all the things that you're going to need. Let's find the kits. So you have like parts here. You have different things in your kit. So you want to take out the basic white Memories and More cards and envelope. That's what this is. It's the 4x6 card. And then I have one here that's not in a kit. So it's going to look like this. It's actually 6.25 times 4.25. So you want to get that out. And then you're going to cut out your paper. Like I said, cut out the pieces that you need for your paper. That's your butterfly paper. You're going to need some Pattern Party Designer Series paper. You're going to need these pieces that look like that. You know, the green and the, what's that, Misty Moonlight. And of course you need your Inspired Thoughts. All right, so that is what we just did though. We're gonna use what we did to embellish and decorate our card next time. So they'll go like something like that. You know, we'll just make another card, just something like that. I'll show you the measurements and things. Okay, because I want to get all that stuff together for you, and we'll show you that. So that's what our card looks like. All right, let's do this now. So my friend Sandra, when I was in Guam, she gave me this and said, hey, she's Chinese American. She's been a demonstrator for like 25 years, and she always inspires me with her crafts. And we had lunch, and she goes, oh, here's these little treat pouches. She goes, I don't make the rice holders for there was dragon boat races going on. Dragon boat races. And she said, I don't make the rice holders with the banana leaves. She goes, but I make them out of paper. I made them out of paper. And I said, oh, that's so cool. I got to figure out how you did that. So she said their name is called, here's the name. She said, Zon, I don't know if I'm saying it, Zonzi, Z-O-N-G-Z-I, Zonji. That's the fold. I guess it's the way you do the rice holder fold. So she gave me like sort of an origami video that was in Chinese. And I watched it like, I don't know, 25 times, and I did it. And of course I didn't practice with this paper because I wanted to. Well, first I took apart hers, and I figured out this part. I kind of figured this part out on my own, or almost, except for the tucking in part. I figured out this part on my own. And then I was like, the tying, I had trouble with the tying the knot, and I had trouble with like how to tuck in the pieces so it would be like this. So that's all this is, like this. So I'll show you some that I finished making. And so the paper, these are my practice ones. And I've already sent a few to new, or a couple out already in my care packages. So these I made with a Follow Your Art Designer Series paper, which is a retired paper. So I had to practice with something. And she used like this tiny twine, which I like. She used the twine. And I was using what's called like nature's twine, or some kind of something from some sailing suite. I used like thicker twine, but now I have some smaller twine from my paper pumpkin kit. So what I will do is this, and let's make sure I have, okay, I'm going to just make sure. What I'm going to do is, let me say hi, and then what I'm going to do is I'm taking out my microphone though, because you're going to have to use the internal microphone. Just because I can't see if the battery goes dead while I'm folding this, and I just want to make sure that you guys can. So I hope you can still hear me. I'm going to say hi to everybody, and I'm going to just start doing the fold. And you're going to watch me do the fold, and then I'll sort of break it down in slower. So Barbara asks, is there a solution in the blender pen? Well, yeah, it's a magical solution. I keep calling it magical solution. So what is it? I don't know. I don't know what's in the magical solution. It doesn't, does it say? Yes, there's a solution in the blender pen. It's wet. And I can't really see it right now what it is. It says made in Japan. Oh, xylene free. I don't know. What? Just look up. Go ahead and Google that. Somebody can Google what is inside a blender pen. What's the magic? Okay. Karen says hello. Carol says hello. Kathy. Oh, we already said hi to everybody. Okay. Let's see. That looks great. She's gonna. Okay. Carol said that looks great. I'm gonna try. She's in Australia doing this class. It's cool. So is Sherry from Montana. Yeah. But I mean, I'm not saying don't get alcohol markers here, Barbara. But, no, she don't have the alcohol markers, so I'm saying these just do something a little different. Or they're working with the ink pads themselves as opposed to anyway, let me start folding as I'm talking. The ink pads themselves as opposed to the pen. All right, so Joanne's watching later. She just came in late. That's okay, because I'm going to actually go through this a lot slower. Okay, I'm glad you can hear me fine because I had to take the microphone out for a minute. So now I can watch this. I'll put the microphone back in a little bit. And Katrina, Barbara. Oh, wow, lots of new people came in. So what I'm doing now is I'm using the inside. The reason I started with the Simply Scored pad, that's the reason I did all the work on top of here, is just so I can go ahead and use it. So you need this little tool. We don't need this. Actually, in the video I watched, it was just like an origami fold. But because our designer series paper it's like thicker than origami paper. So what I'm showing you could be done with like origami paper, and you wouldn't need a scoreboard. And in fact, you never really need a scoreboard. You could fold it yourself. But I like to have a scoreboard because I think it's clean. So I'm going to go ahead and score down 3 at the 3 mark, right? And oops, I've already messed it up. I didn't. That was not 3. Okay, hold on. Let's do this piece of paper. Okay, we're going to score on 3. Okay, and we're going to now, I just want to show you that because the first fold you're going to do is in half, right? So it's a half fold. And I like to use my little spatula, my little Cricut spatula. Okay, so now I'm going to open it back up. You could have done all the folds at once. That's why I said next time I'll do a few more of these. We'll break it down slower. So I'm going to score it like both the 4.5 mark and the 1.5 mark. Because the next fold you're going to do is inwards. They're going to be inward folds. So you can just do them both at once, right? It almost looks like it should connect. I don't know what the heck. There's a little bit of gap in there. Probably because the paper's not always exactly 6 inches, but you can push it a little bit. As long as you don't overlap it, you can help it along by... Because even when you use the little score tool, you still have a little bit of wiggle room here before you add your creases, right? I like to push it up against the side when I'm doing my creases. Okay, so far, all we've done is you folded your and you always start with a 6x6 or some kind of square piece of paper. So all we've done so far is folded our paper in half, and then we folded in the sides. That's all we've done so far. Now we're going to take that paper and we're going to put it like this, and we're going to do the fold down the middle here. We're going to do this fold down the middle. At 3, we're going to score at the 3 mark. Now we're going to go like this. We're going to fold down at the 3 mark and go like that. And then we're going to open it back up. Okay? So far, so good. That's all we've done so far. Now we're going to take this corner and we're going to fold it up against the top, right? Like that. See, I'm folding it up against the top. So here we go. I'm going to go like that. And I'm just I like using my scoreboard because it helps me have a place to push against when I'm folding. And I like using my little spatulas, either like a paper chef spatula, or this is a Cricut spatula. Yes, I have a Cricut too. In fact, I've had like 3 or 4 of those. Maybe 5 or 6 if you count the ones I used to have it where I work. I mean, I had so many Cricuts. I'm just done with it though. I really like the scan and cut because I like not having, even though I teach software all the time, I like not having to be connected to a machine all the time. So now what I'm doing is I'm just sort of now creasing along there. All right, so now what we have so far is, I just keep opening it up, right? And again, I think I need to do another video of it to make everybody super confident. Like I finally become super confident. So anyway, so now what we've done is we've done this, right? But now we need, and that was giving us one diagonal, but we need the opposite diagonal. So we need a diagonal going this way on each side, right? So we're going to open that back up. What I like to do is I like to flip it back around because I'm right-handed, and so I like to flip it back around and then do the other diagonal by, again, using that as an assist, using the top of the scoreboard as that assist to push against. And it gives us just really clean lines. Okay? And then I'm doing that, and then I'm folding it up like that. Kind of like a little hat, right? So again, they make these little pouches for holding the rice out of banana leaves, and they tie them up in twine, and it's all natural. So she used, what paper is that? Beauty of the Earth? I'll show you what's inside hers too. What's inside my friend Sandra's when she gave it to me. So it's always good to like learn new folds because I don't know, I'm getting like not burnt out, but I make tag treats all the time. I guess I'm not burnt out of these, but these little chocolates in them. This has a little butterfly. I'm always making tag treats, right? So I wanted to learn some kind of other folds to put my chocolate in. And all right, so now there's where we're at. See where we're at? We have, that's what our fold looks like. So now we got to make the little boat. And let me look at I can't see if my battery's good, but you said you can hear me, so I'm not even changing back to my microphone. We'll just use the internal microphone. All right, so I'm going to break down this. I'm going to just show you what we did so far and show you what this looks like all opened up. Okay, so what we've done so far is we took a 6x6 piece of paper and we folded it in half, right? And then we folded it like this and toward each other. And then we did the diagonals each way, each direction, right? So each direction. So now we have this little guy, and we want it to look like a boat. So I took one of these, I left one of these just to show you. This is kind of where I got stuck, was this part. This is where I got stuck, trying to tuck in the sides of the boat. So first of all, how do you make it look like that? Well, you're pinching in the sides, right? But that doesn't really work because they go up, they're going in, right? I mean, it does work, but you have to kind of pinch in the sides. That is your first step, you're pinching in the sides. But I'm like, oh, but the boat, the little boat, they have to be tucked, right? Because look, you don't have to use any adhesive. That's pretty nice, right? No adhesive. So what you do is you're gonna first kind of tuck them in like that. That's just to kind of get it the way you need it. Then you're gonna go like this. You're gonna put it, so you're gonna kind of push it out, or not push it out, just push it like about to that level. And you're gonna take this side, you're gonna take like one of the sides, it doesn't really matter which side, and you're gonna get it to go under there. So here's a little trick. Okay, let me just do this. This was my trick, okay? Yeah, there it is. I'm gonna lift this up. I'm lifting up the one little corner, and I'm shoving everything under there. All 3 layers. 1, 2, 3. All little pieces. This, and this. Shoving it all under there. And then I'm tucking this back down, and it stays. It's like magic. See that? It just stays. Now, I do trim off a little. I'm going to trim off that little excess piece, you know. There is a little thing that annoys me, a little bit sticking out, but it stays. Isn't that cool? It just stays. Now, I like to do it, I'm right-handed, so I like to turn it around, and I like to do that again, just on that side, just because I got used to that side, and it doesn't confuse me. So again, I'm lifting up the little flap, lift it all up, and shove everything under there, all 3 little parts. And then I'm going to shove everything back down, and we have our little boat. Okay, there's our little boat. So, now, I like to take my little paper snips, and I like to it's just me, it's just annoying. Like it's same when you're wrapping paper and you always have that little excess piece. I'm just going to take that little, I guess we're going to call it a smidgen. Carolyn likes this treat holder. She said it's sweet. Okay, so I like to take that smidgen and, see, just that little piece, and I like to get it off because it annoys me. So we're just, and I'm right-handed, so I have to kind of do it sort of upside down. Try not to cut into the actual other second piece of paper. I'm just trying to cut off the smidgen. See that? So no adhesive. What I love the most about this treat holder is there's absolutely no adhesive. Okay, so now you're going to put your little chocolates in there. 3 fit, not 4. I tried 3, I tried 4, you know. Let's see what colors will match. Blue will match here. We're not going to use the purple. Purple will look good in that one, maybe. I just saw little Godivas. I got them on sale. Here, we'll do 2 blues and a purple in that one. That way I can show you the fold. And you kind of have to do this because just to shut it, I kind of had to do. And you know, of course, you don't have the same chocolates as me. Don't worry about it. Use whatever you have. I'm going to use a blue and a green and a yellow in that one. Okay. Because if you try to put like 4, then it wouldn't shut. So here's my trick for shutting these. So after much practice, we're going to go like this. We're going to get 2 feet of twine. I'm using the Granny Apple Green twine from my You Are Amazing project kit, which by the way is on sale for only $15, the You Are Amazing project kit. And that is until June 30th. And I did make that treat from that kit, and this treat. Anyway, so I had this twine in there. What I really like about kits is the ease of them. Okay, so I'm going to shut it like this. Now you got it. You're going to have to, you're going to be like, what is she doing? So first I just kind of shake I get everything to kind of fit in there, see? First I sort of put them in, but then I sort of shake it up. So you don't want any like here. It's like a little mouth, right? Kids will love this too. You can teach this to kids. I plan on teaching this to my nieces and nephews. I think a 5-year-old kid could get this fold with a little practice. But I don't know about the tying part. The tying part is a little tricky. All right, I'm just shoving them. Okay, good. Once I get it to sort of shut, there we go. I got them in there. See? All right, I got it to shut. So what I did, this is how I do the twine part. And let me make sure there's not too much light so you can really see this. All right, so I put the open part facing me, and I took the twine, and I just kind of folded the twine in half. And I went like this. I went from the front to the back. Now you can't just try to tie it here because the whole thing will slip off. You have to go to the bottom of the whole contraption. Okay, so I'm going like around, and I'm going to the bottom of this whole little contraption, and I'm doing a little twist. This was my little trick because they didn't teach this in the first video. I did a little twist on the bottom, and then I came around. I just came around, and I'm going to meet right there. I'm going to meet the other string. So I'm going to go coming around. I did a twist on the bottom. I'm coming back around, and I'm meeting at the top. And now that the two twines have met, look at that. You've crisscrossed everywhere, and it ties easy. And I'll do it again, and then we'll do it again in the next video when I break it down a little bit better. And maybe I'll even go outside. I mean, who knows? It's a live video. We'll see what I do next. I did a tie, but in the video I saw, like, you didn't have to do a tie. You just sort of, cut it off. But I did a little bow. So, like that. Let me see. And then I did a little embellishment with the here you go. So I'll tie this one again so you can see that, and then I will, let me see if I can't see. All right, so this is, let me just tilt, I'm going to tilt this a little bit. I like to change my camera angles a little bit so it's not so overexposed here. So here we go. So then I put a little piece of the metallic butterfly on there. So to get that, I took a piece of the foiled cardstock and I die cut out a butterfly and glued him on there for an embellishment. So now we're going to do it. I'm just going to tie this one, and then I'll show you what's inside hers. So again, I just sort of get them in there, and then I sort of shake them around till they sort of, you could just put 2 treats. You don't have to use treat. And you know what would work well? M&Ms, and you wouldn't have to shake them around so much. Maybe they would just flow a little easier. So stay. There we go. So once I get it, there we go. Once I got it, then you need your 2 feet of twine. 1 foot, 2 feet, approximately. Only because I'm tying a bow. If you're not tying a bow, you don't need 2 feet of twine. Now I did the open part facing me. Fold the twine in half because you're going to twist along the bottom. Okay. And the smaller the pattern on the paper, the better. So you're going to put that from the top, go down to the bottom of the treat holder. So go to the bottom and do a little twist. Do a little twist on the bottom. When you do that twist, you're going to go up and around, right? Up and around. And you're going to meet right there because there's nothing on this corner. It needs something on this corner. You're going to go back around and up, and you're going to meet right there, and you're going to tie. Now all 3 parts are tied, and nothing's coming apart. And it doesn't matter where you put the little, and again, you could just tie a knot and make someone cut it open, but I'm just using a bow. It doesn't come open at all because you've reinforced all 3 corners. It's a, what is it, tetrahedron, or what shape would this be? I don't know, but it has like, it has 3 different points, so you can't let the knot slip off any of the points. That's why you had to go around them. Okay, and like I said, I was going to try to break that down smaller with writing down the measurements and stuff. So there you go. So let's open Sandra's. Okay, so Polly, let me put my microphone back into the phone for a moment. Sorry, everything's shaking. Okay. But I hope you could still hear me before. So what Polly's asking is, how does she make a comment? Well, it depends on what device you're on, but on YouTube, when I'm live, I enable comments. So somebody could explain to Polly how to make a comment. I can't make one right now because I'm live, so I'm broadcasting, so I can't really show you what you have to click on. But, oh, it says, no, but you made a comment, so obviously you don't need help making a comment. Oh, she's telling me that I can use anything of hers I need. Well, thanks. I just got yours in the mail. Like, the UPS man, like, rang the door. Ding dong. I was so excited. And then I opened it up for the video. So Caroline saying she caught me live for the first time. Jerry Ann saying she's glad I used a little butterfly on the treat. That was this little one here. Okay, and we'll die cut that out in the next video. So this one, I want to open up this, and well, you already saw what's in mine. I don't need to open up mine. But we'll open up hers. And she has a smaller bow, which is harder to tie. And this was the one that I got the inspiration from. See? And there is a little treat inside. And it's a Chinese treat. So isn't that neat? And this was, I guess I'm thinking Beauty of the Earth. Right? Beauty of the Earth paper. Let's peek under there. Does anybody know? No, you know what? It could be Dragonfly Garden. Dandy Garden. Dandy Garden, maybe? Yeah, designer series paper. Yeah, I thought it was Beauty of the Earth, but because Beauty of the Earth has that color in it, the mossy meadow. I think it has the mossy meadow in it. So, pretty good, pretty inspiring. So you're going to take this. Well, I'm gonna do the treat holder again for you later. And I'll actually, in between now and then, I think I'm going to make a little video for Instagram. Because what I like to do on Instagram is make a video just doing something without any commentary. And then I just kind of run it through. I just play it in fast motion. And then someone can watch it over and over. Like, that's kind of how I did it. I watched a really short video. So what I'm doing now is, by the way, I'm just die cutting this little butterfly. So I'm putting the plate 1. And then I'm using the mini machine. I'm putting plate 2. The plate 2 that's scratched, we'll put that down first. We'll put the piece of brushed metallic cardstock. We'll put the little butterfly on there. And now we'll put plate 2 again. And it doesn't matter which way you put the top plate 2. And you just put it on top. And then you're going to roll that through. And you're going to make yourself a little butterfly and you could also use a sentiment, like from the Inspired Thoughts bundle or something on your little treat holders. But I don't think you need to. I think it's just perfect the way it is here. After you die cut, sometimes you want to get, if you have a die brush, fine. Sometimes no die brush. A die brush will help you sort of get all these little pieces out of here, right? Or a take your pick tool. But what's great about foil, and also one of the tricks my sister taught me, even if you don't have a die brush, is if you use like parchment paper or wax paper or something, you don't even, all this stuff would fall right off. And I just don't know if there's any where I'm at right now. I mean, I haven't kind of raided the cabinets yet to see what is in there, but wax paper, parchment paper, all this, it would have been a tighter cut, and then these would have fallen, all these little bits would have fallen right out. We're going to be in this series. So next video, I'll finish making that card, and I'll do one more. I'll do the treat holder in slower motion. I will also show you one other treat holder. That's what I'll do for the next video, an easier one. And then the video after that, I'll start using the die cut adhesive that you got in your Butterfly Brilliance packet, so you can make stickers out of these little guys. That's going to be fun, making stickers out of these. I think there's a little bit of a, what is it? Here it is, a little piece of, because this is like double layered, a little piece got ripped. There's like cardstock behind this foil. And I'm just trying to get this little wispy off of there. So that's it. That's how you did. And I didn't do anything to this except for just glue them on there. I didn't make this one into a sticker because I didn't want it to stick onto the whole thing. Just pick any old place to put it. It doesn't really matter. Maybe right there, because you get your opening. And somebody can reuse the box and everything, because they can if they can figure out how to tie it shut, they can use the box again. But I just put a little bit of glue on the middle part of it like that. That's all I did. So now you at least know one project start to finish how to make it. And again, I'll go over it next time, because it's boot camp. I want you to practice, and I want you to be ready to practice. Next time will be this week, by this weekend, before the weekend. Or, I mean, Friday. I tried the other one I did on Friday night. I'll try to do this next one before Friday night. But it's, what is it, Tuesday. I'm going to be very busy tomorrow because we have a 24-hour free shipping sale at Stampin' Up. So you want to take advantage of free shipping. I know I'll be taking advantage of free shipping and helping answer any questions people have. So that is 24 hours, June 24th only. And then so Thursday or Friday, I'll probably get back into this. But I'm also working on my new paper pumpkin kit, seeing what I can make from that. So there you go. That's the whole project. Actually, you know what? If it sits like that, you should probably tilt it. I didn't know, but that's what I did. And I didn't know that's what I was doing. So it's a good thing before the glue dries, to tilt it the way you want it, because of the way that the treat will sit. And imagine having these for like, I'm taking it off while it's still wet, a baby shower, a wedding shower, and just kind of sitting on everybody's tables all over the place at different angles, tying little die cut rings on them, little rings, or like little die cut, even die cut butterflies. Butterflies would work for a shower as well. Bridal shower. And imagine just having a bunch of these little treats like all over the place, just sort of all over the tables, hanging about. And your relatives can help you make them, because especially kids, they love origami. I think middle school kids and everything, I'm going to teach some real little kids how to make them. But I mean, I think you could, I might use bigger paper to teach them. I'm going to probably use 12 by 12 paper, right? Instead of 6 by 6 paper to teach them. But the older the children, the smaller the paper, the smaller the pattern. Now you see how I accidentally did that extra scoring line. I'm going to end the video by doing one really quick for you. That was the one I messed up the scoring line, but I did fix it by adding. I'll just do one really quick for you to show you, like when you get used to this, the pace that you can make these, or how quick you can actually make these without really even thinking about it. Because now that I know what I'm doing, I make them much quicker. And the smaller the pattern, the better. And if next time you have any questions and you want me to do anything over again, I'll be glad to. Unfortunately, I didn't have a lot of this butterfly bijou paper because it retired. So I was only able to send you 6 pieces each, because some of us were hoarding it and sharing as much as I can. I still do have kits available with 6 pieces in each. Okay, then I went like that and made my little boat. I pushed them in. That's what I did next. And then I went like that, pushing it in. And then I turned it around and went like that and pushed it in. Made my little boat. No adhesive needed. Trim off these little annoyances. Get my twine. Roll my twine in half. It's a lot easier when there's no treats inside them, right? Go down and twist. Go up. Go up. And tie. There's nothing in that one, because when there is something in that one, it's a little harder to tie it. But if I'm thinking M&Ms or jelly beans might be easier, because you just put them in half of them, and like the chocolates, you have to keep like shifting them around. And voila! So I hope you enjoyed this boot camp session on creating or using the blender pens and creating 3D treat holders. Next time we will assemble this card. We will review the treat holders, and we will create another type of treat holder as well. And then after that, we're going to start using our adhesive sheets. That's all for now. This is the Paper Chef. I appreciate you joining me today. Have a great week, and I hope to see you take advantage of our free shipping sale. If you're in the US, that's $50 or more. Your order has to be $50 or more tomorrow, June 24th, Mountain Time. So that would be Salt Lake City time that the sale will start. It's free shipping's like saving 10%, because that's how much shipping costs. Your order has to be a minimum of $50. On other countries, like I think Canada, your order has to be minimum of 60, but just check with your demonstrator from that country and they'll tell you what the rules are. But that's what I'll be doing tomorrow. I'm making my list tonight and I'm shopping for all the essentials, things that I always use, refills for my seal, plus maybe some extra blender pens. These kinds of things. You can never have enough silicone pads. You can never have enough Wink of Stella. Basic white cardstock, stuff like that. All right, well, I really am out of time now because I definitely want to make these under an hour and it's over 55 minutes, so I'm going to go now. And thank you for watching. This is The Papered Chef. See you next time.